We have a wild free agency update as a massive report has just dropped revealing the future of Gary Trent Jr. and how it won't be with the Toronto Raptors. As his asking price from Masai Ujiri was astronomical and the Raptors turned their heads at it, and this has serious implications on other trades the Toronto Raptors are setting up for the offseason, and it opens up the logjam that the Raptors have had at that shooting guard position. Again, there's still a lot of guards on this team, but this has serious implications on the roster construction of this team moving forward. So we're going to break down all of that, including the ludicrous asking price Gary Trent Jr. has had from the Toronto Raptors in this video. But before we do, folks, again, we're about 20 subscribers away from 35,000, a huge milestone for the channel. So you're part of the 49% that hasn't hit the subscribe button just yet. You've been watching the videos lately, staying up to date on all of the Toronto Raptors news. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single video, and we can hit that goal hopefully today, in terms of the history of Raptors Digest. So appreciate you guys as always. But let's dive into the report because we have a massive update regarding Toronto Raptors wing three-point shooting guy, star boy Gary Trent Jr., once coined the future GOAT by Riker on this podcast, won't be back with the Toronto Raptors this season. Signs start to point in that direction when the Toronto Raptors filled up their roster spots with guys not allowing for them to bring in another player, filling up their cap space, all that type of stuff. But a big report did drop today from Josh Lumberg saying that the Raptors were willing to bring back sharpshooter Gary Trent Jr. at an annual salary of around $15 million when the negotiation window opened last month. But Trent's camp was looking for a raise on the $18.5 million that he made last season and wanted something along the lines of $25 million was believed to be the ask annually. So not just, a single one-time payment of $25 million or, a multi-year $25 million deal, which I feel like a lot of Raptors fans wouldn't be shocked if that's the deal that he gets out there in the open market. $25 million per year was the ask from Gary Trent Jr. The Raptors weren't going to do that. That wasn't a reasonable contract for what the Toronto Raptors had on the table with Gary Trent Jr. in terms of his stats, everything that he was providing this season. I mean, 14 points per game, 2.6 rebounds, 1.7 assists. You might look at it and say, oh, he's a 39% three-point shooter, shoots 38% from threes. He's still pretty young, 25 years old as well, but he regressed last season, did not even take the leap, not take the jump. He regressed specifically just as a bucket getter in terms of fit with this Toronto Raptors group. We have a gluttony at this point, the shooting guard position. So basically, it didn't make sense whatsoever the Toronto Raptors give him a raise on the contract that he had previously, and much less around the $25 million mark. Because frankly, we can look at it comparison to other guys around the league. I mean, a guy in Grayson Allen who puts up similar stats, better sort of assister, facilitator, better rebounder, better defender consistently night in, night out, but shoots 46% from behind the three-point line, is a better all-around three-point shooter and shooter from the field, and shoots 47% on corner threes, just a couple years older and is on an upward trajectory, even though despite the fact he's a little bit older. This man, in terms of contracts, just received a contract last offseason, and in terms of the money he received, was about $15 million annually, and then it's going up, right? So 15, 16, 18, and then a player option for $19 million. So again, that's the bread, that's the money that Grayson Allen is receiving out there in terms of his contract with the Phoenix Suns. That's the deal he got in this current NBA market in terms of everything that's going on. And Gary Trent Jr. was looking for $25 million. I mean, shoot for the stars, my guy, my star boy, Gary Trent Jr. I respect it. I respect you trying to get your bread. I'm a fan of your game, all that type of stuff, and the potential, the flashes that he's shown. But you got to come in a bit realistic. Maybe that's a starting asking price. You anchor high. Read some negotiation books. You anchor high and then you move down and you do whatever. Maybe the Raptors would have accepted $18 million, if you negotiate right. But if your floor, if what you're looking for is $25 million, that's just not going to happen. And now, with the current cap situation, with everything that's going on, I might be shocked if Gary Trent Jr. ends up getting even that $15 million per year annually on his contract. We'll see. The Bucks are certainly a team that's interested. There are teams across the league that struck out in free agency with different players that could be intrigued by Gary Trent Jr., but it won't be with the Toronto Raptors. He doesn't want to come back for under that type of bread. So Sucks to say, but Gary Trent Jr. is gone from this team. But what does that mean for this current core group? Because now, after all the signings are official, everything that's gone out, we have a better idea in terms of what the Raptors roster construction is going to look like. Because, again, Immanuel Quickley, Scottie Barnes, long-term, locked into some big contracts. We broke that down in yesterday's video. RJ Barrett as well for the next 3 seasons. This is up to date now at this point in terms of where the contracts are at for the Toronto Raptors. There's no more hypothetical window. These deals have been signed. Ink has been put on paper. But basically, at the guard spots right now, we still have a logjam. With Gary Trent Jr. coming in, it would have been a serious problem. I pictured, especially at $15 million, the Raptors being able to bring Gary Trent Jr. back, especially with how the market's been going for Gary Trent Jr. Who knows, maybe the negotiations, he'll just go out there, interview with a ton of teams, not get offered any bread, and then things do a 180 and he won't be back to the Raptors, because again, nothing's ever official till it's official in the NBA. But basically, Immanuel Quickley, RJ Barrett are locked in long-term. For sure. Scottie Barnes locked in long-term. And then we have, at the guard position down there, Gradey Dick, Ochai Agbaji, as well as Jakob Poeltl. All guys that are going to be getting minutes in this Toronto Raptors team. Expected to be solid prospects at that shooting guard position long-term for this squad. And then we also have JFL as well as Jamal Shed. Goodness gracious, Shved. Alexei Shved. But JFL, Jamal Shed, that are going to be out there. I think Shed especially is going to be brought in, given the contract he received, as a guy that's expected to get minutes at some point during his Raptors tenure over the next couple seasons. And then we also at the guard position have Davion Mitchell, who is a player that I think the Raptors are genuinely intrigued in. His defensive ability, there's been articles come out about him, about the Raptors trying to utilize him as a piece, but that's a lot of guys that are all out there trying to get minutes at that guard position. And then we have Bruce Brown, the third highest player on the paid player on the team for this upcoming season. He is a dude that's going to be making, $23 million. He's a valuable piece. Bruce Brown is good at basketball, but he's also going to be commanding minutes at that sort of guard position. Now, we have seen Bruce Brown play, at the power forward spot over the course of his career. So it's not something that is definitely a guarantee that he's going to be eating up minutes, at that guard spots. I imagine that's what the Raptors' plans are for them because, again, we don't know what's happening. It has been absolutely silence on Chris Boucher's future with this team here now at this point. He's getting paid $10 million. We have Kelly Olynyk and Jakob Poeltl, who will be in the rotation certainly for this team, at the start of the season. But we have Sasha Vezenkov, who Masai Ujiri said there will be answers for, in terms of his future with the team moving forward at basically the next few days. So we'll see what happens there. But basically our front line consists of Poeltl and Kelly Olynyk, who are getting minutes. Vezenkov, Boucher, wildcards. Jonathan Mogbo, who is a second-round pick. We're not sure what's going to happen with him here now at this point. And then we also have the two-way guys in DJ Carden and Orlik Chomche, who I don't think will get a lot of run this season. But basically, that's 4 guys that realistically could get some minutes at the forward spots. Obviously, as I mentioned, Bruce Brown and Scottie Barnes can slide up to the 4 at times as well. And then Mogbo, who's kind of a wild card. Will he be in the G League more often? Will he be a player? We'll see how that all shakes out. And Agbaji did play some forward at the end of the last season, but I want to see Agbaji actually play more of his natural 2-guard position with the Toronto Raptors group. But Gary Trent Jr. not coming back it sucks to see an asset like that lose, a solid 3-point shooter, guy that is valuable, walk for nothing, and a guy that, I'm rooting for. I liked him as a basketball player. Never said anything crazy to the media, despite his role going up and down. His consistency was up and down too. But it just sucks to see because when we brought him in, he had so much potential. Traded Norman Powell, who was a fan favorite of mine, for Raptors fans, a favorite of mine, on this Raptors team. Sucks that Gary Trent Jr. didn't end up panning out. But let me know what you guys think about Gary Trent Jr. moving on from the Toronto Raptors. That asking price he was looking for. Let me know in the comment section down below. But you guys have the best thing as far. Subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. I'm signing out. Cheers.